What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope everybody's doing well out there on this beautiful Sunday morning. Technically still Saturday night to me. Shout out to the brother and sister Jamal Bay and Annette Diamond for hipping me to this particular story right here. And apparently the CDC says white men still aren't washing their hands. Okay? And you have to assume that if they're not washing their hands, they're not washing their asses. Okay? Now, I don't understand why in the hell would anybody not want to keep up with proper hygiene in a time like this when they're saying that a pandemic is on the loose and it's taking people out. But be that as may, we got, well, white people not complying with the rules of the CDC. Let's get into the story. This is a story that was out of Washington right here. Americans are washing their hands much more than they did before the coronavirus pandemic, according to new research from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. The groups less likely to adhere to that guidance were white people. Okay, men and people between the ages of 18 and 24, making young white men the picture of hand washing and recalcitrance. All right. White men, including President Trump, have also led the resistance to mask wearing. Long before the airborne nature of the coronavirus was understood, public health authorities were urging Americans to wash their hands, with the CDC and other agencies offering detailed seminars on how to do so properly. As if that's really a task. And if that's really a task, common sense tell you how to wash your hands. All right? But I guess, you know, some people don't grasp that. You know, I'm really starting to wonder if these are really people. And you have to take into consideration, back before they came over here, you had the bubonic plague. They lived in diseased filth and all kinds of shit. I seen a video, you know, saying why they wore sombreros, like hats, when they walked down the street. And the woman was the one that was on the outside of the sidewalk, while the man was on the inside of the sidewalk with the sombrero on. Because when they throw filth out of their windows, it normally would land on the woman. Okay? But be that as it may, obviously they're not catching on to this in this particular day and age. But I digress. Some believe that public health authorities should have focused more on mask wearing than hand washing, given that the coronavirus does not spread as easily on surfaces as initially thought. Still, hand washing is considered an essential aspect of good hygiene, whether than a pandemic is raging or not. When the pandemic first arrived in the United States early in 2020, and advice on hand washing proliferated, it quickly became clear that Americans were simply not washing their hands regularly. Those who were washing their hands were often not doing it properly. Still, fewer than 3/4 of Americans are washing their hands after coughing or sneezing, or in situations where they handle food, the CDC reported. Nevertheless, more Americans are making the proper ablutions than did a year ago. It is an adamantly thin silver lining, considering that more than 210,000 have been killed by the coronavirus in the United States. Millions have lost their jobs. Okay? Now, I don't do the, what's that, buffets anymore. I stopped that a while back. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when, say for example, when you get to the place and you go to wash your hands and everything, you go in that restroom, a lot of guys go in there, they use the damn toilet, however way they use it, and they walk their nasty asses right back out. You know, don't wash their hands or nothing, and then go right out there putting their hands on the damn plates and the ladles, you know, that you use to put the food on your plate, spraying all kinds of germs. So regardless if they got that little whatever little plexiglass, little roof-like type things where you can't breathe on the food, you still get some kind of contact when you pick up the ladle right behind somebody that didn't wash their hands. That's the reason why it's not cool to even be eating out, you know, at these buffets and carrying on. But I digress, okay? To continue, for the study, the CDC used data collected from the Porter Novelli Public Services, first in October 2019 before the pandemic began, and then in June 2020 as the country was in the midst of the outbreaks along much of the sun belt. That's what it says. About 3,600 people were surveyed the first time around. The second survey included about 4,000 people. Researchers found, encouragingly, that there were statistically significant increases in reported hand washing during that 6-month period. People were about twice as likely to wash hands after coughing or sneezing, as well as before eating, either at restaurants or at home. They should know that. That's common sense. That's my point. This is common sense. See, and they lack common sense. That's the reason why I'm beginning to wonder if you really are people. But I digress. And in conclusion here, there were exceptions. However, men, young adults, aged 18 to 24 years, and non-Hispanic white adults were less likely to remember to wash hands in multiple situations. The researchers concluded. The notion that men, in particular white men, resist public health measures has been a point of discussion for much of the year. But the new studies suggest that the nexus of youth, whiteness, and masculinity is challenging when it comes to public health directives. In both 2019, pre-pandemic, and 2020, during the pandemic, higher percentages of older adults, women, black persons, and Hispanic persons reported remembering to wash their hands in multiple situations than did young adults, men, and white adults. I could say something right here, and damn it, I'm going to say something. That's probably just like asking a dog to remember to take a bath. You see what I mean? No pun intended. But to continue, the new study said, because older adults, black persons, and Hispanics persons have been disproportionately affected by the COVID-19, engagement in preventive behaviors by these persons is particularly important. The CDC called for new communications efforts tailored to resonate with men, young adults, and white adults. See, and I'm ready to go ahead and blow that lying ass myth out of the water about black people and even Hispanic people being disproportionately affected by this so-called virus. Just look in your obituary sections and see who do you see. You see what I'm talking about? You're going to see more white people that's dying. I'm saying for whatever reason they're dying. That's my point. Then you will see blacks or Hispanics. Okay? You're going to see more white people in that obituary section. That tell you right there that they're lying about this. You know, about blacks being disproportionately affected by COVID-19. This is lies. You can't trust these people when it comes to that, because they want to. There's been a smear campaign since they landed on the shores of America with our people. Whether some of our people they brung here, or some of the people that just been here. There's been a smear campaign to write us off as being the disease of the world, and we are not. And actually, it's the other way around. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this particular story right here. I'm interested in hearing y'all thoughts, views, and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched, simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.